Hi, I'm Tim Daniel. I'm the segment leader for ADAS at AVL North America. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today is virtual validation for ADAS. And when you really think about how complicated a driving task is, we simplify it as humans. Think about even driving off from a red light when your light turns green. Most often we trust that the person coming across traffic is going to stop. But there's no guarantee that they will. But we most often just trust and we just drive off. And we have no clue if someone's coming and is going to hit us from the side. We have no clue if we stop, if the person behind us is going to hit us. Right? So, or if the person in front of us is going to stop short and then we have to stop. And we take a lot of that for granted and we focus on the main task of driving straight through that intersection. And when you look at an autonomous system or even a cross-traffic situation, the vehicle now has to determine if it's safe to go. Because if the vehicle's driving, then who's driving, right? You aren't, the vehicle is driving. So how do you make sure that the vehicle and the software and the system and the sensors can handle those types of situations? It's impossible to test all of those things on the road. It would be too expensive and it would take forever to do. You would never launch a vehicle. So one of the ways to accomplish all of that testing is in the virtual domain. So we can take and create driving scenarios from requirements, from the ODD, operational design domain, where we know where the vehicle is going to operate and under what conditions. And then we generate millions of scenarios that can allow the system to be tested in a virtual domain, and then make sure your algorithms can handle, your sensor suite can handle all of those specific variants of driving. I mean, if you think about when you drive to work every morning, right? Sometimes you zone out and you're like, how did I get to work? Right? Somehow your brain is processing only the information it needs to get from point A to point B. But somehow we do it. Now the vehicle has to do that. So we take all those scenarios, we load them into a specialized set of tools that we have, and then we execute those in the cloud using our customer's simulation platform of choice. Now, if you were to take all of the scenarios, it would even be cost prohibitive to do those test scenarios in the virtual domain. You still have to pay for cloud service. You still have to for cloud execution time. You have to pay for cloud storage. So what AVL has is a tool that allows us to build up a set of test scenarios and executable scenarios using an ontology-based approach. And what this does is it looks at all the relationships between all the data and all the test cases that you're generating and eliminates the redundant ones. So now instead of having maybe 100 million test cases, maybe you have 2 million test cases. Still sounds like a lot, but it's a whole lot less than 100 million. And as I said, if you had to pay for all that execution time in the cloud and the storage of the test results, it adds up very quickly. So you also want to optimize the amount of cloud execution time and virtual testing that you have to do and still give you the maximum amount of coverage. So you get the smallest set of test cases that gives you the maximum amount of test coverage that you can get in the virtual domain. The other thing is the more test cases you have to execute, the more licenses you have to buy of your simulation platform. So all those costs add up. So AVL has this way of generating that optimum set of test cases that not only optimizes for time and efficiency, but also for cost. And then we can analyze those test results using a tool that we have called AVL Senius. It has a test case generator, a test case manager, and also a scenario designer, but also has reporting capability. So now you can take this massive amount of data and put it into a form that you can understand and say, well, which of these 2 million test cases passed, which failed, which are difficult for the system to execute. And what you're really looking at is the pass ones are easy. That's great, right? Those are good. Those are easy for the system to pass. You want to look at those difficult test scenarios that are challenging your system. And how do you know those? Well, you have to create a report. In one way we do is a heat map. And for instance, the red ones might be failed, the blue ones might be easy to pass, and you get this band of yellow. And those become your edge cases. And those are the ones that you really want to focus your design and development effort on to understand how your system can navigate these very difficult test cases. So now you've got a focus of where to validate your system and where you need some extra design and development activities, maybe an improvement of your algorithms, maybe an improvement of your sensors, whatever it might be to make improvement to take those yellow banded edge cases and make those blue, which means it's a pass test case. And AVL has this tool chain. We can offer an engineering service where we can generate these test cases for you, and then our customers can execute them if they want, or we can do the execution for them.